Hello, Mr. Horace. At your service. I would like to show you part 2 of the greatest song. One of the greatest. I mean, this is epic song, American Pie. I think it's possible. I mean, this is the most complex song in terms of the meaning, in terms of the lyrics. I mean, it's 8 minutes and 36 seconds long. So it has so much in it, right? So I think it's very likely it's the most complex. A long time ago, I can still remember how the music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance, I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while. Yeah, so bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee was dry. The good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Did you write a book of love? And do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Now do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? Can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off the shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage bronc with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, and I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. We were singing bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. In terms of, the accompaniment, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's open chords, just open chords, strumming, right? I mean, so that's really not a challenge. The challenge is, understanding the song, the meaning, the words. I mean, that's really. So, did you write a book of love? Who wrote the book of love? Did you write a book of love? Did you write a book of love? And do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Now you probably already know. I might have mentioned in the previous video that there's so many references in a song, to a lot of famous songs. Older songs, I mean, from the 1950s and 60s. I remember this American Pie was, created, I mean, around, he probably started working on the song in 1969. It wasn't published until 1971. But probably took him a while. So he referred to a lot of older songs. Who wrote The Book of Love? The Book of Love is a song, actually, by the band The Monotones. And actually, The Book of Love is from the album titled Who Wrote the Book of Love? Who Wrote the Book of Love? So anyway, did you write the book of love? And do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. And then there's another song, If the Bible tells me so. If the Bible tells you so, do you have faith in God? Now, this is really not coincident. I mean, he didn't just use whatever, songs. I mean, refer to whatever songs, No. I mean, there is a point, a purpose. To mention God, faith in God, the Bible. Because, do you believe? Now do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? Can you teach me how to dance real slow? Now if you contrast, the Bible, God, the music, you contrast that to, do you believe in rock and roll? Do you believe in rock and do you believe in God, or do you believe in rock and roll? Now here, the rock and roll doesn't mean the early, the dance music, the rock and roll. No, he's talking about the later, the rock and roll of the 1960s, which is of a very different nature from the early dance music. 1960s, psychedelic, and it's not happy music. It's dark, and because the 1960s is not a happy time in America, very unhappy time. So I mean, you have the contrast. 1950s and 60s. 60 has a lot of problems, conflict, division, in American society. So it's very dark, and naturally, the music is going to reflect that, right? So anyway, so do you believe in God, or do you believe in rock and roll music? That's what, that really what he's asking, that question. Now, and also, well, can you teach me how to dance? Dance real slow. Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. Well, that goes back to the role of early rock and roll music, dance music. So is the slow dance, especially the slow dance. Now the slow dance only were reserved for couples who are in love, boyfriend and girlfriend, not just anybody. Okay, well, no. So if you're dancing a slow dance with somebody, then you guys are in a relationship, in love. So that's why he said that. Well, well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked up your shoes. Right. So that. And then I was only teenage broken buck. Teenage broken buck. With the pink carnation and a pickup truck. I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. So now he talks about another thing that happened really starting in the 1960s, which is the sexual revolution in the West. Sexual revolution. And the pickup truck really symbolized, this wild, the freedom to have sex. The wild, free sex. A pickup truck. Because then you're free. You can go anywhere with your pickup truck. Anywhere. So that is about that. Now, the phrase "drunken buck," really just referred to the very individualistic, independent, rebellious, Western American teenagers. The young people. Very, very, individualist. They don't want to listen to their parents. They don't want to have anything to do with their parents, their family. So very, very, So I knew it was the day the music died. I started singing bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "Let's so be the day that I die. Let's so be the day that I die." The same chorus. Now, the point of this verse, I really believe. Okay, of course, this is my understanding. I'm just just trying to share with you my understanding. You got, history of any society, of any people, really is a record of the battle between good and evil, between God and Satan. And so you can see that in the 1960s. So now, of course, things didn't happen just all of a sudden. Just happened. Like, no, it took time. It took a lot of preparation. So before 1960, the satanic force in America had been preparing, laying down foundations here, there, stepping stones, in order to in preparation for the 1960s, because a lot of things happened. A lot of things happened in the 60s, and that was because of the preparation. It's a long term, long haul preparation. And so the rock and roll music of the 1960s, and to an extent 70s. Now, do you think that's the music of anti-God? Anti-God. The psychedelic, for example, that based on centered on drugs, has hallucination, all that. Just altering your state of consciousness. I mean, is that good? Is that good for your soul or not? Right. So I think that's the question, big question that Mr. McLean raised in this verse.